Testing. Testing. Volume is working. So hello everybody. We're back with some Genshin Impact. And today we're gonna hang out with Kaveh. Apologies for the sound that messed up. Audio issues with Streamlabs lately. Trying to fix them, so I apologize. Test. 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 Sorry about the echo. So I just get my headphones out. So it's not, so I have to undo them. So here we go. So here we go. Let's start. Let's start. Testing. Testing volume. Testing. Test. Testing. The volume is working, so that's good. Had a few issues with it, as I said before. So, let's get into the game. My headphones unmodded. Here we go. So, I think our next task is. Oh, let's check our mail first. Claim our rewards. Yeah, I think we have to wait until. What time we have to wait? Till 16 o'clock next day, which is, I think, 4 o'clock. There we go. Let's find Tarnari. Party, wherever that is. To Tarnari, he should be.
Scholars' lives seem to be pretty relaxed.
Here we are.
Alhaitham also got my invite, right? Will he be coming to join us?
That guy, he's never been a fan of social gatherings. I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you.
Are you sure? All right then. I guess we won't wait for him.
Yeah, let's go. Uh, I mean, maybe we should give him a little more time. We can keep chatting for a while longer.
Oh, sure.
You still haven't told me, what's the occasion for getting us together here at Pardis DI?
We're celebrating the end of the first phase of Kale's studies. I wanted to thank you all for the help you've given her along the way.
Where's Kale?
She said she wanted to show everyone
Where's
a bit of what
Kale?
she's learned, so she's still doing some last-minute prep at home. She'll be here shortly. Anyway, let's get started. To tell you the truth, I'm actually not so confident that the second phase will go as well as the first. The curriculum will become a lot more involved, and I'm worried that she won't be able to get through all of it. I was hoping we could brainstorm about it together before she gets here.
I knew this wouldn't be just a simple free dinner. Is that why you also invited Al-Haytham?
Yes, I thought it would be good if we could all put our heads together about this. Anyway, let's take a quick trip down memory lane. What did you guys do when you ran into a problem that you didn't know how to solve? Or got assigned a project that you knew you weren't gonna finish on time?
Never happened to me.
I'd just pull another all-nighter.
You two are hopeless. Does anyone have a more useful answer to the question?
Stopping.
Answer to the question?
Perhaps he could adjust the pace of curriculum.
Ooh, that's a good point. Confidence is the most important thing. Once you lose your sense of confidence, it'll become all but impossible to find the motivation to study.
This could be a potential direction. I have already redesigned the literacy curriculum, and I was originally hoping to ask Al-Haytham for his opinion, but...
It's very simple. Instead of focusing on the amount of material you would like to teach, focus on the amount the student would be able to remember.
Wow, you actually showed up. I could probably count the number of times you've actually come to gatherings like this on just one hand.
It's still more than the number of times you've managed to get a proposal approved on the first try.
As long as you're still aware. So, what made the difference this time? Are you looking to drink your sorrows away with some friends?
That's your purpose for being here, not mine. Don't project your ways of thinking onto me.
So you're saying the only reason you came is to help Tainari with his brainstorming?
Precisely. Kale will have a long road in front of her.
Hey, just to get one thing clear. Even if Kale manages to make her way to the academia, we cannot let her enroll in her avatat. Kasharawar is obviously the best choice for her. She's been a trainee forest ranger for so long, she'll definitely be good with her hands.
What are you saying? Spontamad is the better choice. It's where I graduated from, after all.
Then what about Amorta? That's the Darshan her master actually graduated from.
There are only 2 other Darshans left. We might as well select all of them on her enrollment application.
I'm trying to have a serious discussion here. Traveler, you aren't associated with any of the 6 Darshans. In your opinion, which Darshan would be the best choice for Kale? Would be the best choice for Kale.
Yeah, I think we should, I think she should get her through her second phase of studies first.
Well said.
Agreed. And my goal in inviting you here was to gather some thoughts on the execution of this second phase.
Phase 2 far exceeds Phase 1 in both curriculum complexity and the speed of instruction. I hope Kale has prepared herself for what is coming.
Hey, what are you thinking now? Please don't tell me you're planning on lending her those abstruse books from your home library.
Actually, I was thinking about lending her a professions guide.
I'll make sure to write, "Don't become an architect" on the front page of that.
Don't you love your college? Sorry, but don't you love your job, Kaveh? Testing. Testing. It is working. Don't you love your job, Kaveh? Don't you love your job?
You're right. I can't deny that.
Is there another phase after phase 2? What's the ultimate goal of all of this? Are we trying to prepare her for a job in the academia?
Uh, we don't need to think that far ahead. Hold that thought, though. I think my vegetables are done.
I'm telling you, that client had no
Oh,
idea what he
great.
was
Now
talking
he's
about. No matter what I did,
tipsy.
he had something bad to say about it.
He sure gets drunk fast.
Have you considered finding another client?
Ah, they're all the same. I haven't had a good night's sleep for months now. Who do they think they are, ordering me to alter my design over and over again just because they have some mora?
It's too late now to change careers. You might as well try to find some joy in the pain. Besides, you'll be getting up in the middle of the night to make edits to your own design even when the client doesn't request it.
No. That's
Oh
not
boy.
true.
Cheer up, Kaveh. I'll
Oh
tell you a little
boy.
joke.
We'll save that for the end, Sino. You can keep it to yourself until then.
Whatever. I'm not going to use my brain anymore. Let's drink tonight to our heart's content.
Oh, we got that ending. Maybe a few more endings we could try get first. We do that, we're gonna do our dailies. Our quests. What's appetite? Leeway. Or waypoint. Let's find the source of the rumbling noise, which is below us. Or above us. Wall. Oh, hello. Do you... Oh, what is this? Oh, my stomach's making an awful racky again. I was saying, do you need to eat? Oh. Okay, what were you saying before I heard that? Oh, my stomach acts up like this every time I'm hungry. Rumble this and rumble that. It's really loud. I can't even hear the sound of my own voice. Although, Rumble went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked, but the doctor said I was not sick, just hungry, so there's no cure for my... Eat something, please. Doctor said I just need to eat full meals, but I always had a bigger than most, so I eat a fill every time I burn a hole right through my wallet. Tells me my main meals don't fill me up yet, so I should buy a little something to fill in the gaps between it so it doesn't affect my work. Fill in the gaps, he says. I got a long list of dishes I like to eat, but I'm not sure which is best for filling my stomach. Probably your experience in the outdoor life. Surely you know what foods fill your stomach best. You help me pick the most filling delicious dish from my list. What do you want to eat? There's plenty. Let me think. I heard there's some great tasting dishes from Mondstadt. Sweet Madam, Mondstadt grilled fish, fisherman's toast, hollow lily seafood soup. And just give me the one that best fill my stomach. Thanks for your help. Eat that. Sorry about that. Eat that. At least my stomach won't be crying all day. Give him a dish. You found that filling dish yet? Got it. Have a taste. Give me toast. Got lots of these. Let's give. Dish is well made indeed. A lot of effort must have gone to it. It does taste great. There's a bit too little of it. Can't fill my stomach like this. So nice to eat such a delicious crumble, though. Thank you. Please accept these. Okay, so where's the next commission? Practice makes perfect. Got some story quests we can do. Each 2 to 5 endings with Kaya. Well, 4 to 5 endings with Kaya. 2 to 5 endings with Kaveh. And 4 to 6 with Chongyun. 4 to 6 with Bennett. First, do this. I want that one, the map. Over here. Make sure everybody's healed first.
Ready, steady, go!
It's a time challenge.
Useless. Get out of my way.
Stop throwing slimes at me. Elf too. On switch.
Get out
Switch.
of my way. Cool it. This moment will be frozen in time. Don't push your luck.
Complete this commission. To the next one. Down there. First we need a healing break.
I'll protect us.
Doing. Lois. And in the water where that village girl is. Ow.
Let the show be.
Disappear!
Great. Get shot by it. For that.
Useless!
I'll protect us.
What's the hurry? Freeze! Leaving so soon. Boring!
It follows you. Also teleports.
Let the show begin.
Fully healed. Which renowned popsicle.
Dodge this!
Thanks for that. Stop freezing me.
Oh, so sorry.
Guys.
Cool it! Lament! Useless!
Health is a bit low, so
Come on, we can do it. I'll protect us.
great. Heal before I right, they found me. Get rid of this guy, he heals the other ones.
Dodge this! This moment will be frozen in time.
One more coming. Good idea. Get him out in the water.
Freeze! Don't get frostbite. Don't push your luck. Dodge this.
Of everything that's on. Anything.
What's the hurry?
Also want to do. That one. One here. See if we unlock the missions. Still lagging.
What's the hurry?
Oh, are you talking to me? Sorry, I didn't see you there. Are you here to accept a commission regarding Tales of Humanity? Or Lords? Be right back.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth. A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
Where's my key? Not again.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
My latest design's getting there, but there's still room for improvement. Better make my finishing touches before the deadline creeps up. Where's my key? Not again.
A good newspaper should be a lighthouse of truth.
Hey, I'm back. So,
The ability to appreciate beauty.
let's go back to Hillchurl Towers. Are they that direction?
Scanning.
Useless. Cool it. This moment will be frozen in time. Freeze. Dodge this.
Now we can destroy towers.
Cool it.
Don't have to do anything. That's commission. Well, how we did. Get our mission. Go get our rewards. Obvious thing. That.
Ad Astra Abyssosk. Welcome to the Adventurers Guild.
Claim our
Thank you
daily
for completing
missions.
today's commissions. Here is your reward.
Go back into his rewards. Plane. Home with let's go back to Samaro. what to do, but Kaveh. Here is his home.
Alhaitham isn't in, so feel free to sit wherever. I'll bring out the box.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing. I just didn't realize how much time had passed. The box is pretty dusty, which means it's already been a while since I've moved into this place, and many years since my mother moved to Fontaine. I'm happy for her. I hope she'll be able to find happiness there. She raised me all by herself after my father passed away. It definitely wasn't easy for her. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see what I packed into this box. What are all these things?
Is that a drawing?
Oh, I remember now. This is a drawing I made in Port Ormos. Obviously, I wouldn't call it anything special now, but I was less than 5 years old when I made this drawing. That's more than 20 years ago. You could say it's pretty good for a child of that age. Now that I've said that out loud, I suppose I do have some level of
Here's a
artistic
new
talent,
one.
right?
Doesn't sound as confident as he used to be.
Criticism and self-doubt have always been a part of the artistic process. Without criticism, there can be no improvement. It's normal for me to question my abilities from time to time. I admit that I may have spent a little too long questioning myself this time around, but as you know, the heart tends to dwell on whatever it pleases. Anyway, never mind. The more I talk about it, the less confident I feel. Let's see what else we have in the box. Ah, my building blocks! It's been years since I've last seen these. When I was a kid, I used to stack them super high, and could even stabilize the tower to keep it from tumbling over. Oh, and this blueprint. I made it by copying my mother's sketch, and the aspect ratio was horrendous.
Sing volume.
It's still technically
Sorry
the
about
first
that.
blueprint I made myself, though. I was super proud of myself when I finished it, and put it in the same pile as my mother's sketches, hoping she'd notice and compliment me for my good work. Unfortunately, my mother didn't realize that I had put it there. When she had a meeting with a client the next day, she handed my blueprint to him by mistake. The client was completely confused by this new blueprint, but apparently he felt too tongue-tied to question such a famous architect. It was only a few days later that he finally gathered up the courage to pay my mother a visit. He asked, "The door in this blueprint is even taller than the roof. Is this supposed to be part of the design?"
And what happened after that?
My mother took me with her to personally apologize to the client several times. She didn't scold me about it in private, though. Instead, she went over all the steps required to draw a good blueprint, and was very patient throughout the whole process. I still remember it like it was yesterday. Let's see, is there anything else left in this box? Huh. What was this again?
Notebook with a lock?
Ah, this is my mother's notebook. She used to write and sketch in it all the time. When I was a child, I used to be super fascinated by this notebook, and always pestered my mother to let me read it. After asking her a few times, she told me that I could read it as long as I could guess the password. Huh. Wonder why she didn't take this notebook with her.
And open it and take a look.
If only I could. I never managed to guess the password.
Even after all these
Hey, it's
years.
not a matter of time, it's a matter of inspiration. That's what we need to guess the password. Who knows? Maybe this time something will click in my head, and the answer will just present itself. Let me think.
Your name?
I could tell what you were thinking. Don't worry, I tried all the easy guesses a long time ago. I've tried my name, my father's name, my mother's name, my grandparents' names on both sides, and all of our birthdays. I've tried every name and number remotely related to my family. I've even tried stuff like "Love you, Kaveh," "Take care," and "Yours truly." I've tried every cheesy phrase and well-wish in the book, but this lock has refused to budge. I wouldn't try that route again. I have a hunch that it won't be that simple. Also, if she really did use something like that, she'd never hear the end of it from the folks over at Haravatat if they ever found out.
I mean, we should just put it aside.
Yeah, you're right. Although I was hoping to find some words of wisdom from my mother, if I stop and think about it, her words may not be the advice that I need to hear right at this moment. Everyone's life journey is different. Traveler, you've visited many lands and met many people, so I'm sure you've run into situations where some advice wasn't exactly suitable for the situation at hand. Ah, I just got an idea though. If I want to rekindle the creative passion that I had before, instead of trying to unlock an old notebook, why don't I take a walk around the parts of town that had changed my life? What do you think?
Sounds good.
I'm glad you agree. Then let's start by taking a quick stroll around the academia.
Walk around the academia.
Of all the places in the academia, I remember this one most. When my studies got busy, I used to pull all-nighters here trying to finish my blueprints.
I like you almost miss it.
Who doesn't miss their time at the academia? Life was a lot simpler then, and we all had far less troubles. I created many designs that I thought were beautiful in the House of Dana.
Would you like to?
Whatever came to mind, since I didn't have to care about budget constraints or turning them into reality.
Would you like to draw on the House of Diana?
If I had to give a reason, it'd probably be because I like the ambiance here. The academia also had a rule that allowed scholars to annotate any physical books they came across. As a result, the books here are chock full of scholars' wisdom across many generations.
Walk.
Oh, here, this is a great example. This book, History of Ancient Sumeru Architecture, contains some analysis that I did many years ago. Huh? Why is Alhatham's handwriting also in here? When did he ever read this book? Ah, I guess it's probably from when we worked on that research project together.
Excuse me.
Anyway, he probably never cared to tell you this, but the House of Dana is where Alhatham and I first met. I came here to do my homework, and saw him sitting by himself next to that row of bookshelves. A group of Haravatat scholars were chatting near him, but he looked as if he was too lazy to join them. There was a pretty stark difference between him and all the rest of them. It was my fault for feeling bad for him. I thought he must have gotten into some kind of trouble and went over to ask if he needed anything, not realizing that...
Not realizing that you were in fact the one in a whole heap of trouble?
Doing here.
Alhatham? Why are you here?
The House of Dana is a public space. Anyone can come here, no?
But shouldn't you be at the records room at this hour? You're not here to watch me make a fool of myself, are you?
You think I would derive amusement from watching you fall into depression over your life's various troubles? If that's the case, then I suppose I must have been entertaining myself for years. I came here to pick up a few files. If your voice hadn't managed to get through my soundproof earpieces, I probably wouldn't have noticed you.
All right. I admit I was probably overreacting just now.
Want to continue the story?
Probably not when he's right here with us. As his senior, I shouldn't try to tarnish his reputation.
There was nothing embarrassing or shameful about it. When I was still a student at the academia, I once collaborated with Kaveh on a research project. A collaboration is usually beneficial for all parties, but due to issues with our personalities, we ended up going our separate ways before completing the project. We had a number of differences, and they remain unresolved even today. But there's no point going into that right now. The more important question is, why are you at the House of Dana?
Kave's feeling a little.
As a senior scholar, isn't it my responsibility to offer my friend a quick tour and explanation of the academia's architecture?
I see. Then let me guess. Your next stop will be the pavilions around Razan Garden? Our famed architect sure loves showing off that corner to all his friends. Oh, and Kaveh, a lot of the books you annotated have been moved to the innermost section of that bookshelf over there. You'll have to dig them out yourself if you need to find them.
Huh? But why would you know that? Don't tell me you finally had an epiphany and realized that there's great virtue in respecting your elder's work.
Sure, if that will give you some self-confidence. Leave any words of thanks you may have to the ex-Grand Conservator. The last time he was here, he was complaining that he had received reports from current students. The main grievance being that the annotations are too long and difficult to read. As a result, the books you annotated have been moved to the back shelves.
What? But all of my annotations were extremely important. Instead of reporting me, they should have been thanking me for my service. The notes that I took, they couldn't have asked for a better analysis of those books. Okay, just you wait. I'm going to fix this right now. I'll dig all the books out and return them to the proper shelves.
Oh, we'll wait.
It's about all we could do.
Anyway, you were about to say he's feeling a bit down?
Just put through a ringer. Put through the ringer recently by a difficult client.
Through the ringer. What an interesting phrase.
Seemed
I assume he used those exact words himself?
Seemed that far from the truth.
He probably did suffer quite a bit, that's true. He always spends a lot of time editing his proposals, with the goal of satisfying as many of the client's preferences as possible. But the satisfaction of one client will not translate to general satisfaction with his work. Many problems in life can only be solved by a fundamental change of attitude. As the leading genius of Ksharawar, Kaveh should have both the right and the confidence to reject any unreasonable demands. There are plenty of architects in Sumeru who are inferior to him in skill, yet far more irascible in temperament. What's more, there are plenty of people who look up to such individuals as paragons of staying true to one's principles.
The problem is with him.
Clearly, his predicament is inevitable, since he holds other people's feelings as more important than his own. Of course, each person is different, and we should respect the paths that they have chosen for themselves. Admonitions will serve no purpose. People tend to succumb to familiar pitfalls, and this is especially true for those who believe it's their duty to carry more burdens on their shoulders.
Looks like you were having an enjoyable chat while I was gone. Were you talking about me by any chance?
Yes, we
What do
were.
you think?
What else is there to talk about? Surely no one would be interested in talking about the files that you were browsing through earlier. Anyway, you should take a look at this. Look at this comment on page 82. Dear Kaveh, thank you so much for annotating this book in such detail. It was a great help to me. See that? Now that's how a student should treat their seniors.
And it looks like you're already in a much better mood now. It really doesn't take much to make you happy, huh?
Me happy? I'm mocking that retired blockhead for being so full of himself. He understands nothing about the true beauty of architecture. When I can find some time, I'll have a serious talk with him about making sure these books are put where they belong.
Why don't you just move all the books yourself? It's not like he hasn't cursed you out before. What was that nickname he gave you while you were in the academia? The Urchin of Kasharawar?
Wait, what?
Kaveh had a habit of scribbling and writing in all kinds of books.
Hey! You didn't need to bring that up. At least not when I'm still standing here. Oh, actually, I also found a really old sketch in one of the books over there. See? Doesn't it remind you of something?
Archbridge.
Huh? Don't tell me even you don't get it.
Don't ask me. This is the time you specifically put aside to brag about yourself. Feel free to hoard all the spotlight you want.
You... In that case, allow me to explain. Although this sketch is a little abstract, you can plainly see from the road plans that this was an original concept for the expansion of Port Ormos.
We can also plainly see that the designer was a huge fan of this project. It's the project he loves to talk about the most, second to the Palace of Alcazarzare.
If I don't keep bringing up the neat projects that I've done, how would anyone know that I was the one who did them in the first place? There shouldn't be any complaints about Port Ormos. If I remember correctly, the construction process was very smooth, everything was made ready ahead of time, and there were very
Hi.
few safety concerns.
There are indeed no records of any complaints about this project. A most impressive achievement.
See? What did I tell you? Come on, let's take a stroll through Port Ormos next. I'll tell you all about the designs I made for the place.
You gonna come? Are you gonna go to all Hatham?
It's almost time to clock out for the day, and I don't intend on bringing any unfinished work home.
Suit yourself. It's not like you know how to appreciate artistry anyway. Let's go, traveler. I'll take you to Port Ormos.
Let's go look at his architecture. The Port Arnos. Let's teleport there. Down here. Follow him to Port Arnos.
Port Ormos.
Design one of the buildings here.
No, I didn't design any one specific building. Most of my work here concerned structural renovation. Port Ormos had already existed since I was still a young child. It wasn't as large as it is now, though. It only came to its current size after a sizable expansion. I was part of that project. The arch bridge over there, for example, that was one of my designs.
Did you come up with the idea for it?
When I was first tasked with the project, I decided to reference the growth patterns of nearby trees to split Port Ormos into 2 levels. My goal was to improve the overall utilization of space. We ran into a lot of issues during construction, but thankfully, we were still able to achieve the original vision. Residents can now behold all the ships entering and leaving the harbor from the vantage point of the bridge, while visitors can recognize the site of Port Ormos from a long ways away. I was still young and new to the trade back then. I could hardly believe that an idea in my head could become reality and remain in the world for many years to come. The true cornerstone of the creative process. The point about the design that will be ultimately used to judge its true worth. It was the first time that it became crystal clear in my mind. Once built, a building will continue to stand. Countless people will see it, and countless more will step inside it. Its final worth, whether it's good or bad, will be assessed by the countless generations of people that interact with the building during their lives.
I think it's pretty cool.
You think so? I'm glad to hear that. But even with this project, I still had one small regret. My budget was tight, and I was unable to use the higher quality timber I had originally intended for the design. I knew that some concessions on aesthetics would be needed as soon as I agreed to a proposal that prioritized the practical functions of the project. Us creative types know better than anyone that most projects cannot be completed without a few regrets. Even the Palace of Alcazar's was not perfect.
But having no regrets mean you had no higher hopes for the future.
Yeah, you're right. I should learn to look toward future opportunities and believe that any regrets I have can be overcome in time. We've spent long enough here. There's still one last place I want to go, but it's a little far. Would you be interested in a quick trip to the desert?
Wouldn't mind.
Great. Most of my projects over the last few years have had something to do with the desert, partially because there's a special place there that I often visit. This is a rare opportunity, so why don't you come along and see it for yourself? If you ever feel down, maybe you'll be able to go there and feel better too.
Follow him to the desert. To walk there.
Let the show begin.
The teleport.
Who would have thought that so many primal constructs could have congregated here while I was gone? We won't be able to sit and talk peacefully with these guys around. Let's clear the area.
Get out of
Stop
my...
it.
Dodge this! Oh, so sorry. Freeze! Get out of my... Boring!
Don't push your luck.
Useless. I'll protect. Let's dance.
Get out of my way!
Useless.
Listen to his thoughts.
Isn't this place great? I often come here to clear my mind when I'm dealing with a difficult situation. You know what I mean. Everyone finds themselves in frustrating situations once in a while. Just take me as an example. My family life got shaken up quite a bit when I was young. I struggled in school, and I got into a huge pile of debt building the Palace of Alcazarzaray. Although Alhaitham thinks that it's because of my personality that I continue to live in the shadow of the past, I think it's also just a part of life. Plus, if I look back, I've honestly had my fair share of good luck as well. You could probably say I've followed in the path of my mother. Like her, I've gained a name for myself as an architect, built something that's seen as my magnum opus, and found many projects that others have entrusted to me to finish.
You also haven't completely lost your passion for life.
Life is too boring when you live with no enthusiasm and passion. Only those who believe in the inherent meaning of it can capture the small nuances of everyday life and turn them into inspiration for beautiful designs. Of course, I will concede that loving something also means taking it to heart. So to an extent, caring is also a source of pain. If I didn't love my work, I wouldn't be so torn up about it all the time. But still, isn't this place beautiful? Despite the erosion from the winds and changing seasons, you can still perceive its past beauty and glory. With different landforms come different architectural styles. The desert's history has left it with few records regarding its buildings, so I often visit the desert to investigate things in person. The sight here has moved me ever since the first time I laid my eyes on it. I told myself that one day, I would also be able to create buildings that move others. My pain will one day fade into nothing, just as I reach the end of my life. But buildings are different. They are far more valuable than most materialistic things, and far more durable than human flesh. As long as there remain souls in the world who can decipher the meaning behind them, they will also have acknowledged me across the vast stream of time. If you were to ask me what art is, that would be my answer.
That's more like the Kaveh no.
Think so? But I feel I've always been like this. Remember that question I brought up before? The one about whether I should see art as a divine gift of inspiration from the gods, or as a product of my own existential struggle. I still haven't found an answer to that yet. But if art wasn't inherently paradoxical and enigmatic, then people probably wouldn't be drawn to it. Those who pursue art will be unable to avoid the pain that it naturally brings. Will often be floating on cloud 9 one second and sinking in a mire the next. I'll try gathering my thoughts again once I've found a way to define art in the first place. In any case, thank you so much for listening to everything I had to say.
I didn't. Just one.
I'll protect us.
But quest we can do. Go back to the Archon. Enter the inn. Excuse me. Lowest.
Let's give a huge round of applause to our brave young warrior, Kachina!
Woohoo! Well done, Kachina.
Be right back.
Thank you, everyone. I'm so glad I finally made it.
I always knew you could do it. With so much potential at your age, you have a great future ahead of you.
You're one to talk. Don't think I didn't know you were the first person to abandon your team. I'll be dealing with you when we get back.
I had no choice. My friend invited me. I couldn't just say no.
Oh, really? So you weren't just trying to get ahead in the first round?
I wasn't, I swear. I just happened to find that bearer injured in the wild, so I stopped to bandage his wounds. When he insisted on repaying the favor, what was I supposed to do? I'm just one person. I figured Kachina would have no trouble replacing me.
But the fact of the matter is that after your departure, everyone else started thinking about swapping teams too.
I'm really sorry, Kachina. It was wrong of us to abandon you like that.
It's amazing that you still made it all the way through to the Night Warden Wars. That's the highest honor.
So, what about you guys? Did you make it far?
Our team captain drank too much the night before the competition and turned up late to the stadium on the day. We got disqualified.
Serves you
Hey, I'm
all
back.
right. No sympathy from me.
Alright. There's no need to be like that, Uncle Pakal. Dear friends, I'd like to say a few words. Firstly, I'm grateful to my friends and our great Archon for helping to bring me back. This traveler and his companion Paimon are some of the strongest people I've ever met. If they were allowed to participate in the pilgrimage, I have no doubt that they'd win the whole thing. They've agreed to let me learn from them. With their help, I believe I can become even stronger still. And let's not forget my good friends, Moalani, Chaska, Kanich, and Ayan-san. They all helped the Traveler and Paimon figure out a way to bring me back from the Night Kingdom. They too deserve to be called our heroes, so please give another round of applause for them. Thank you so much!
Well said!
I'll drink to that. How does it feel being a hero, Kachina? To be honest, it's a bit overwhelming. It all just feels so surreal. Well, you better get used to it. Next up, undefeated champion!
That way I'll also become champion coach.
Hey, please don't make fun of me.
Let's talk to Mavika. Right here. Table.
Ah, you're here. Have some fruit juice. I got it specially for you two.
How did you know? That's Paimon's favorite!
You look like you've still got questions. Ask away.
I'm playing a little convoluted.
They had their own lives to live. The thought of telling them, abandon your families and everyone you love, and come with me to the end of time, for in 500 years Natlan will be destroyed, it seemed too cruel. You could just as easily point out that everything in this world would come to an end eventually. But life is short, and beyond a point, it just doesn't seem real. Imagine if I said, let's leave right now, and go save the sun because it'll flame out in a few million years. It would sound quite ridiculous. I couldn't make them shoulder that burden with me. Besides, every generation will have its heroes, this one included. The plan could still work without them. Or, of course, without me. But since I was the one who came up with the plan, I felt duty-bound to see it through to the end.
Paimon's suddenly remembering that portrait in your room. Was that your family from back then?
Yes, it was. So when you asked me who my sister grew up to be, the truth is that very little information survives. From what I've been able to piece together, I can conclude with a reasonable degree of confidence that she ended up as an architect and artist.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
She played an instrumental role in rebuilding the scions of the Canopy tribe, designing and building many houses. But of course, none of her buildings are around anymore. Still, it was an impressive achievement, and I'm very proud of her.
That's a life he had to leave behind.
You feel loss keenly. It seems to stir up feelings of regret in you. But this is something I have long since come to terms with. This is a war, and there can be no war without loss. I am already far more fortunate than those who lost their lives to the Abyss. The people of Natlan look to me as their Archon, and the weight of their expectations is mine to bear. I must see our fate through to the very end, no matter what I may find there.
Actually, won't want to ask.
Yeah, doesn't that mean the way everything ends has already been written, including your plan?
I suppose, but so what? Don't forget, time takes many forms. The past, present, and future coexist, and all are equally important. Even if the future ends in destruction, there's still no reason to give up on the here and now. And it's precisely because we humans cannot know our fate that we will never give up on our struggle. This is a pivotal moment. We are still 2 heroes short. Well, 3 to be precise. There's one further hero who I'm hoping to get on my side, whatever it takes.
Surely you don't mean me.
Your resistance to the corrupting power of the Abyss is truly remarkable. It would easily make you an all-important figure in the upcoming battle. If you agree to join us, you will not only gain my full support in your journey, but I will also forge a brand new ancient name for you.
Ancient names can be forged?
They can. Several strict conditions must be met, but if they couldn't be forged at all, then the number of them in circulation would have long dwindled to 0. Possessing an ancient name would mean that your adventures in Natlan are recorded in full. Your stories would be remembered by our people for all the years to come. The Ode of Resurrection may have temporarily lost its power, but still, take this as my personal guarantee that I shall never let you fall. Just like in the Night Kingdom, I will be there for you. That is a promise I will fulfill at all costs. This nation always honors its heroes.
Want to help out the people.
We can't just ignore the situation here.
Wonderful. Then I'll reach out to Shilonen right away. She's the one who will forge the name. We've never forged an ancient name for an Outlander before, but I trust she'll find a way.
Lead this quest.
My lord, we've received word that the Pyro Archon has lost much of her power. Although your injury complicates things, this is most certainly the opportune time to seize the Gnosis.
These guys
Victory
again.
and defeat are rules, not outcomes. I have never taken advantage of an opponent in a time of weakness, and I don't intend to start now. As for you, I must confess, I did not expect that little trick of yours to save the day.
No matter how dense the fog, as long as the sun remains, we cannot turn day into night. She could have dispelled it. She simply chose not to. You don't have much time, and you're injured on top of that. What do you plan to do next?
I'm beginning to see just how useful you may turn out to be. You heard something from here, didn't you?
So let's wait till 2 days later. So that.
Things have been looking really
The
rough for
Adventurers
Natlan
Guild.
lately. There are more and more commissions from the Adventurers Guild, and they're all related to the Abyss. Just waiting around won't do us any good. Let's go and see if there's anything we can do to help.
Up the stairs. And right here, Catherine.
I see. Thank you so much. The Adventurers Guild has been overwhelmed these days.
No worries at all. We've always valued the strength of adventurers. Given the current situation, it's vital that we all work together. Since we're facing the same enemies, I'll send you the intel we've collected on the Abyss so far. Then we can take a look at how to coordinate our efforts.
All right. Thank you so much.
Hi, Catherine. It's us. Got any new commissions?
Ah, you two have come just in time. I've got some good news. The Pyro Archon has finished assembling her forces and stationed them all across Natlan. Given how the Abyss has ramped up its activities lately, we can no longer afford to act only after receiving news of an invasion. So the Pyro Archon suggested that the Scions of the Canopy and the Adventurers Guild focus on collecting and disseminating intel. That way, we can stay informed of everything that's happening across the land. Once we receive word of enemy activity, we can notify the nearest camp and the stationed forces can take immediate action.
That'll lead to a faster response time.
Yes, precisely. This should also allow us to focus on gathering information, rather than running around and trying to tackle everything at once. So please also take a chance to relax, you two. You've been working hard these days, and this will be a good opportunity for some well-deserved rest.
So that's the plan. Whew, we can finally stop and take a break.
But the threat abyss is still far from over.
Everyone knows that. It's not like Paimon just wanted to lay here and do nothing.
The movements of the Abyss are always unpredictable. There have also been times when it suddenly became more active in the past. The people here generally see it as something like an acute natural disaster. Once the disaster is over, everyone will return to their normal lives. We just all hope that day will be sooner rather than later.
Oh, right. Most people have no idea just how bad the situation has gotten in the Night Kingdom.
Hope the day of peace will soon Hope the day of peace will come soon.
Is that the traveler in Paimon? Hello, hello! Oh, hey, Kachina! Are you feeling better now? Yep. Now really isn't the time to stay home and recover anyway. I wanted to do something to help. I heard that the Pyro Archon is gathering warriors to be stationed in the more remote areas. So I came here to sign up.
Impressive, Conchina. Don't push yourself.
Don't think I haven't heard about all the things that you've been doing. With everyone working so hard, I've got to do my part too. Oh, by the way, Shilonen told me that she was ordered to forge you an ancient name. She said that she's all set, and we can head over whenever we're ready. Wow, so we'll finally get to meet Shilonen, the legendary forger of ancient names. Paimon still can't believe anyone could forge those things. Shilonen is a true master. Not only can she forge ancient names, but also all sorts of new and fun things. She's always got a pile of commissions on her plate, so you usually have to wait a while before she finishes something. In this case, though, she's completely cleared her schedule just to work with you. She wants to give your name her full attention.
And we should properly thank her when we meet.
Well, I've already signed up as a warrior, so all I have to do for now is wait for my assignment. If it's okay, maybe we can go to see Shilonen together? She wouldn't turn me away, right? I mean, I hope she wouldn't. Hey, have some confidence in yourself, Kachina. After all, you're already a victor of the Night Warden Wars.
One's proud of you. You're the future of your tribe. Oh boy.
Maybe I'll just...
So we got chapter 5, act 3. Go children and echoes. There's some teleporting because I'm not walking all that way. Our noble name. Right here. Statue 7. Kinda. Up the cliff. Gonna fall. Be able to make it. Kaveh. Go. Well, that's great. Dropping in. Up. Down there. Really?
Ready, steady, go!
I'm way back up there. Guess we're here.
She's not back yet. Oh, I hope nothing bad happened to Master Cheffin. Hey, that little kid is crying. Wonder what happened. Let's go check what's wrong.
What is this? Hello, is something the matter? Yes, it's time for more heroics.
They said Master Chevin might have stopped around here. She might have been forced to go near the Shadow Pen. If that's the case, then... Oh, please, you have...
What's this? Hold on. Do that later. Sorry. Get my name.
It's good to get out and stretch your legs once in a while. People aren't made to stay cooped up inside all the time.
Up there.
Shilonin, I brought the person who needs an ancient name. He's super amazing, and I've already learned tons of stuff from him. I can vouch that he's really worthy of a hero's name.
Ah, yes, so I've heard. So young, and yet you've already got quite the reputation. Wait, are you Outlanders?
Yep, we're travelers who just arrived in Natland not too long ago.
No, I mean, I was aware that you're travelers. It's just no one told me that you're Outlanders.
Avika didn't tell you?
You're saying the Pyro Archon didn't tell you?
No, the only thing she said is that a new hero had pledged himself to the plan. But we'd need to forge an ancient name to ensure he'd be able to return safe and sound. And she did mention that it would be quite difficult to forge an ancient name for them, but at the time, I thought she was just commenting on my skills. But I seem to understand where the true difficulty lies now.
Are you upset?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm used to it, really. I just need a moment to process things. The Pyro Archon's requests are always difficult to fulfill, and we used to argue a lot. Honestly, it's probably for the better that she didn't bring this up at the time. Anyway, I can't argue with her if she isn't here, and it'd be pointless to take my anger out on someone else. But, just because I understand her rationale doesn't make me any less upset. After all, she must have known that forging an ancient name for an Outlander is an impossible task.
Right.
It's impossible?
As you probably know, an ancient name is a symbol of a hero's spirit and glory, which grows even richer and heavier as generations of successors inherit it. We forge ancient names by engraving the heroic deeds of an individual who will become the first hero of that particular name.
I have plenty of deeds under my belt.
Yeah! I saw countless feats recorded in their adventure handbook. It felt like they could do anything.
But they were all performed outside of Natlan, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Damn it.
Then those deeds haven't been recorded by the Night Kingdom. To take it one step further, even if you had performed heroic deeds in Natlan, as an Outlander, your actions still wouldn't have been recorded by our lands. Only memories and experiences that have been acknowledged by the Wyab can be used as a basis for an ancient name. Even the greatest of craftsmen cannot create something out of thin air, you know. That's just how it is.
Seems the Wyab don't want just anyone to get a name, huh?
Mawika, of all people, should know better than anyone, yet she's still entrusted the task of forging the ancient name to me.
Oh, Paimon gets it. Nobody's happy being asked to do the impossible. Why do I feel like this has happened before? I think last time, Shilonin just ended up running dozens of laps around the hills nearby.
Ugh, don't remind me. let's just focus on how we can pull this off. How to achieve the impossible.
You mean you're already willing to accept the task?
Well, what else can I do? What's happened is already done, and it's not like I can outright defy the order of my Archon. If she gave me this order, then she believes the ancient name is an indispensable part of her plan, and that I'll be able to find a way to make it happen. In other words, the order is an affirmation of my abilities.
Whoa, not only has she accepted the task, but now she's looking for silver linings?
And that's how much she and the Archon trust each other.
Yeah! Let's see if we can find some special way to pull this off. If we really can't make it work, I'm sure we can still go back and talk to the Pyro Archon.
The key is getting the Wyeb to somehow acknowledge the Traveler's existence and record his heroic deeds.
We heard the voice of a Wyeb when we were in the Night Kingdom before. We even had a whole conversation with her. If we can talk to her again, maybe we can figure something out together.
Well, every tribe has their own Wyeb. How do we know if the one you met is indeed the best one for us to talk to? Plus, considering the unprecedented nature of this situation, I have a feeling that the acknowledgement of one Wyeb alone would probably not be enough.
Should we need to gain the acknowledgement of all 6 of them?
I don't know. That requires a level of knowledge that I do not possess. We need to find a consultant who's an expert on all things Night Kingdom and Wyeb. The first person who comes to mind is Lali at the Masters of the Nightwind. The one we call Granny Eatstali.
Oh, we've heard that name before. We used her Spirit Speaker Stone to find Kachina's ancient name. A person who can make something like that must be pretty impressive. I'm unsure she'd be able to help.
Still, she's older now and quite eccentric. It's hard to even book a meeting with her, given that she's constantly holed up in her room and doesn't like to be disturbed. I've heard that to get her help, you have to be extremely patient with her and know how to keep her spirit up.
I hate to break it to you, but...
Probably won't be very happy with us.
Huh. Why is that? I mean, didn't she already help you before? And you even managed
great.
to save Kachina.
Well, yeah. At the cost of her Spirit Speaker Stone being split into 2. Huh?
Great going, Moeka. We're already off to a rocky start here. In that case, I guess your only option is to try to emphasize that this is an important order from the Pyro Archon. Hopefully, Lali would still want to show respect to the Archon. I'll also write you a letter on your behalf. If you can find someone to deliver it and mention some good things about you, then that should help too.
Oh! Let's ask Kanich to deliver the letter. He understands the whole situation and is already a familiar face to her. Paimon sure hopes a Hal won't interrupt when he's talking, though.
All right, Kanich is a seasoned negotiator. I trust that he'll know the best things to say.
Oh, great.
Great. Then I'll go contact him right now.
Please just give me a moment to write the letter, and we can meet up near the Statue of the Seven later.
Sounds good. We'll take a stroll in the meantime.
Let's go meet up with Kanish. Megan. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what happened to her voice.
Yeah, I'm sorry to put this on you, Kanich. It's just that you're probably the only person who knows how to deal with her. Oh, wait, so Kachina and the Traveler also know about the plan?
Mm-hmm. Because we all saw a hero of the past rematerialize right before our eyes. And then Mualani said that a ton of knowledge and memory suddenly flooded her brain. The Pyro Archon explained everything when we came back from the Night Kingdom, including the reason behind the appearance of the hero, as well as the current state of the Night Kingdom. Right. She mentioned there are 6 heroes and that Shilonen is one of 4 that have already been acknowledged.
Oh, well, then I suppose there's no need to keep any secrets between us. Having companions walk by your side is perhaps the best solace when facing such a bleak reality.
Seat Lolly knows him too? Odd, huh?
Given how the Masters of the Nightwind love to babble about dreams and revelations, they're already a pretty strange bunch to most. I've never met Auroran, but if they consider him the odd one, he's got to be pretty far out there.
Huh. Makes sense. But Paimon wonders how Seat Lolly could be the first one to notice Auroran's disappearance if she spends the whole day in her room.
Huh, so if I'm following, you mean we'll help her investigate Auroran and the captain's whereabouts?
Good idea. This way you get 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah! Plus, we kinda owe her one anyway to make up for breaking the spirit speaker step.
Ah, this is a pretty well thought out plan, as expected of Molly Poke Nietzsche. Then, yeah, I'll leave my letter to you. Let's hope Seat Lolly can meet at the stadium in 2 days.
Take care out there, Kaniche. I'll be heading back as well. There's still a few things I need to pack.
Okay, then let's part ways for now. I'll see you in a couple of days.
Let's wait till morning. Day after tomorrow or tomorrow? Day after tomorrow.
Oh, it's time to meet up with
Talk
Shalom.
to
Let's ask her how things have been going. Hey, Shilonin, how's everything going?
Oh, hi, Traveler and Paimon. I have, bad news. Seat Lolly did not reply to our request. Although, I suppose I'm not too surprised.
Huh? You mean she didn't even bother to give Kaniche a response? Guess she really does have quite the ego then.
Yeah, well, she can be also quite eccentric, though she's one of the most gifted people around. Even the Masters of the Nightwind often struggle to work with her. My guess is that she probably has other reasons for not deigning us with a response. But let's go to the stadium and see if we can meet her there. If we do get a chance to talk to her in person, we can still try to work something out.
That's true. Let's go.
So damn. What I wanted. Map. Right here.
Paimon doesn't see anybody. Seems she's just not gonna show up, huh?
Well, we tried to be as considerate as we could, but she's under no obligation to help.
That might be true, but this is still a request from the Pyro Archon, right? Shouldn't a subject always answer the call of their Archon?
A subject? Well, if you ask me, I'd say we're all more like friends with the Archon. Yes, Mawika is our leader, but that doesn't mean there's any kind of tall barrier between us and her. The thing is that she
Excuse me.
often has very high expectations.
I can tell.
So even though she's super powerful, it sounds like she's actually pretty down to earth and easy to get along with. Unlike that old hag Granny Eatsley, right? Does she think she can ignore
Thank you,
it just
Paimon.
because she's fake? You all talk about her like she's some... If that's what aging does to you,
Thank you, Paimon.
Oh, really? So, that's how you see me?
Huh? Who's there? Who's talking next to Paimon?
Oh, don't mind me. I'm just a disgruntled
Thank you,
old
Paimon.
hag, right? Come on, relax. I'm sure my bark's worse than my...
Huh? See, Lolly.
Wait, you're Seat Lolly? You're Granny Eatsley?
Yes, Granny Eatsley. But emphasis on Eatsley, not Granny. You must know this trope from light novels, surely. They use it all the time. The young man who's actually the oldest person in the room. The girl next door who turns out to be a seasoned veteran. The wise sage who looks like a little kid. Oh, wipe that look off your face! You've seriously never seen an
Oh,
older lady
boy.
that doesn't look her age? Okay, well, don't go thinking it's a trick either. See? I'm barely wearing any makeup.
Did I forget to mention, she's called Granny, but she's actually pretty young.
You were complaining about the Pyro Archon leaving things out.
It was an honest mistake. I guess we've just gotten used to it.
Paimon.
What? How
Oh
dare
boy,
you?
Paimon.
Don't you know it's rude to ask a lady her age?
Paimon really didn't mean to offend you. It's just that your case seems really... Oh, Paimon just wanted to apologize, but now she's putting more and more...
It was my idea to invite you here, Seat Lolly. So if you're upset, you can just take it out on...
All right. I was only joking. I didn't mean to chastise anyone. There's really no need to take all this so seriously. If anything, I'm gonna feel awkward if we keep this going. I received Kenichi's letter and was planning to attend this meeting. Since I had already decided to come, I figured there was no need to draft a reply that simply said, "Understood." Besides, just showing up is the most important part. No? But, of course... It's also natural for people to get held up by one thing or another as they're trying to leave the house. It certainly was a bit awkward to see that everyone else had arrived before me. At first, I was thinking of quietly sneaking over, but since you were already here waiting for me, I started to think about how I should phrase my apology. Only to hear you all talking smack. Anyway, that's the whole story.
What's with that expression?
Awkward.
Was she feeling embarrassed just now?
Waiting for us to carry on the conversation. Everything she's saying sounds like a joke. I'm not sure if I should laugh. Rude to laugh, even more not to laugh.
The Masters of the Night Winds say they struggle dealing with her. I wonder if the feeling is mutual.
This is awkward.
Pretty awkward. Correct. The situation isn't like anything we've handled before. Let me explain.
I see. So Mawika has asked you to forge an ancient name for an Outlander. Well, that would be a first. And you've also heard all about Auroron. I must say, he's always been a good kid. I can't see him joining the Fatui of his own volition. He must have been coerced somehow.
But no one will find him.
Yeah, that's what we came here to ask you. We'll help bring Auroron back if you help us solve the problems of forging the ancient name. What do you think?
I suppose I'll just call you Traveler for now. Traveler, come here. Let me take a good look at you.
Boy.
Wealth leads to unending conflicts between people. Yet you alone transcend the value of gold. Baleful thunder and wrathful waves bring terror to mortal hearts. Yet, again and again, you've braved them to find new worlds. A weary yet free soul. Even the most verdant leaf in the forest We'll pray for your happiness and safe passage.
What is that supposed to mean?
Those are all the things that I could see in you. You've experienced far more than even most mortals could dream of. You possess the heart of a sincere hero, along with the conviction to lift a torch above your head and walk headlong into the night. Huh? Don't move. There's something.
Huh? What thing? Don't scare Paimon. Is the traveler gonna be okay?
Ah, shoo! Ah, that should do it. You've just returned from the Night Kingdom, so some fragments of souls were still stuck to your body. No need to worry. I've just cleared out the last of them.
Isn't that kinda like having part of a ghost come back with—
Ah, it's nothing as serious as that. If left unattended, the most it could do is stir up some chaos in your mind, and generally worsen your mood.
Well, in that case, better to get rid of them.
Thank you.
It was nothing. Shilonen, let's follow your proposal. Once you've brought Auroron back, I'll take you to see the Lord of the Night.
The Lord of the Night? But don't we need to talk to the Wyab of the tribes?
Something this important is beyond their jurisdiction. Only the Lord of the Night can decide whether we can grant an ancient name to one who does not hail from our lands. The Lord of the Night is an ancient entity that rules over the entire Night Kingdom, constantly borrowing the power of the sacred flame to combat corrosion from the abyss.
Oh, so you're basically saying it's even more powerful than the Wyab of the tribes. Well, that sort of makes sense, being the lord of the entire Night Kingdom and all.
Not exactly. It's not so much that one's more powerful than the other. But never mind. That's not important. It would take too much time to explain. Just listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you. The Lord of the Night is currently in a deep slumber, and we can only communicate with its consciousness while in a trance. In other words, in a dream. But I will need to prepare a few more things if we are to hold a ceremony to achieve the state of the trance. I'll make a list. Can any of you get everything for me?
I can go. It'll probably be a long list, so better leave it to someone who knows all the local—
Sounds good. Then we'll go with St. Lolly to track down—
the Fatu?
Yep, we'll be sure to play—
Sorry.
Alright, now it's time for us to catch that brat and bring him back. Oh, I'm sorry I made you wait earlier. It was actually because I decided to swing by Auroron's place to look for clues. He has always lived alone, and I found a broken
You
jar
are
in his
back.
house. There was also something off about his phlogiston aphids, which I assume is because their keeper has been gone for quite some time. And interestingly enough, I saw some slash marks in the house that did not match any of our local weapons. My guess is they were left by Snezhnayan arms.
Oh, sounds like the Fatui broke into his house and took him hostage.
But why would they kidnap a kid who just spends his days living in the country and raising aphids? He's only in his 20s. What would they want with him? That's not to say that I believe he's totally innocent, of course. Since he's the only one who was kidnapped out of everyone in Natlan, he must have done something to attract their attention. In any case, we'll get to the bottom of this once we manage to get him back here. I'm truly sorry to put you two through all this trouble with me. But please help me get him back.
You can count on us!
Alright, then let's start by heading to where Auroron was seen last.
Okay. Yeah, I think I can end the stream here.